Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to ozfortress Season 25, the Premiership Division, Week 3, covered by TF Live. My name is GrumpyKoi. I'm back after absolutely ages, and I am not alone. I'm joined by two wonderful gentlemen. I've got Core as my production, and probably one of the people I spend the most time casting with, so it's going to be strange doing ozfortress with him, but it should be a good laugh. I've got Beta as my co-caster. How are you
Always
doing,
good.
Beta?
Always good. Like, this is great. I wake up and I cast TF2. Is there any better way to live your life? I don't think so. Good. And then, of course, it's going to be like a absolutely mastodon matchup between Servo, Mutts, and Clock. Like, probably the two best teams in Australia. Maybe there's one other team, Barrel of Apes, that might have something to say about that, but this is definitely going to be two of the absolute giants in this season. So I'm definitely looking forward to this, and it's usually a good time casting ozfortress games.
Yeah, it's always good to get a bit of that aggression that sometimes, ETF2L's kind of got a lot more aggressive, but it's got nothing on the Australians. I can't wait to see that like double scout aggression, like the chariot plays that usually come out. We've got two interesting maps. One that just, lends itself to being aggressive all the time, and that is Product. So that's going to be a great map just to see these two kind of slug each other in the face as much as possible, Beta.
Yeah, like we just saw this in the ETF12 season as well, and it was it was quite the show that everyone has just been putting on. Like everyone just gets each other's faces, jump soldiers behind. It's extremely difficult to actually like do anything about that and just stem all that aggression. Sometimes you can have success with a sniper, but just dealing with all of the soldier aggression and everyone just flowing across the point like one fluid killing machine, it's very, very difficult to actually stem that tide. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these teams actually decide to go about that today. But I say we go through the rosters since we talked about them a little bit, and we're not exactly Australians ourselves, so maybe we need a refresher as well. But do you want to go through the first team? You can pick whichever one you want.
I'll try and go through Coffee Clock. We've got Cookie on Scout, Dono also playing Scout, Riot Yule, Redco, and Lau on Med. So I've kind of got a cheat sheet here. Let me just get it up. It's called Xander, and Xander's told me that these guys actually won Prem last season. Like a version of this team, if I remember correctly. Let me have a look. So they won last season. They've had some slight changes, but for example, he said that Cookie is one of the best scouts currently in Australian Fortress Prem. I don't know. I've always kind of just known like about Elmo, Geo, JT roster because European, but that's kind of the info I've got on that one, Beta.
It's actually a lot more simple than that, because his name is Cookie, and he spelled Cookie wrong, which means he's a great sniper, and that's just how it works in Team Fortress 2. But we're actually live, so I'm just going to quickly go through Servo Mutts. That's TJ and Vanna. On Scouts, we have Doge and Fane. On Soldiers, we have Deft on Demoman, and we have Ivan on Medic. But take it away on this first mid, Grumpy.
So, bringing up this first mid, Riot goes across the point. Doggy actually cleans up Yule. This is actually the first season where he's playing Soldier, not Demo, as Riot goes in. Manages to get the med, and actually right now Coffee Clock are needing to kind of clean up these players, but right now Servo Doggy, Servo Mutt even, I will get the names eventually, actually clean up that first mid fight. So not a bad
doggy,
start
right?
from them. Yeah, the same difference, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised you even made that connection. But both medics going down immediately, that means that it was a very scrappy fight, and there's slightly more players alive on the side of Coffee Clock, but they're immediately going to get pressured back. The spawns were slightly superior in favor of Servo Mutt as they lose the point, but it's just going to be a straight-up fight right now. Lau gets jumped, but nope, Fane's not going to be able to actually get the work done, and now the counter-aggression is going to come in.
And the counter-aggression from Coffee Clock is pretty good. Riot's gone in. They've managed to collapse on Kyle. Kyle has gone down, with TJ going down as well. Coffee Clock, good aggression, good sack wave, cleaning up that med. And now they've got uber advantage. They're looking to go straight into a forward hold right now, Beta. And that's going to be something that servo mutts are gonna need to break through. Probably gonna just go for the pyro play. We do see Doggy on it, so that's what they're gonna do. And Doggy's getting denied quite a bit. He's trying to actually reflect, but not connecting anything. They're trying to use that scout to deny, but Deft with some good stickies cleans up Cookie. And actually, that's going to be a trader piece, so they're not going to be able to push out, and the forward hold remains true.
Yeah, they've busted out the pyro now, and I think in just anticipation of that, they've already retreated. So yeah, they got someone to go pyro and look out there, and then there was nothing for him to really do, so he had to go back. So this is all just delaying things quite a bit. We already have a pause, so that didn't take long. And this is basically exactly what happened yesterday too in our cast.
Yeah, it's
just yeah, same game basically.
Same game. So does that mean that currently the blue team coffee clock is 7? And I don't know, because from the lead up, this looks like it's going to be a much closer game than the one we watched yesterday.
I'm sure.
I feel like
I don't think.
I'm
I don't
sure
expect
it will be.
Yeah, I don't expect a 3-0 roll here or anything. It's just kind of funny. It's exactly the same turn of events from the game we casted yesterday. Just everything's flowing into the same. Yeah, go on.
So I was just going to say, so I mentioned it before, but it's actually quite interesting to see Doggy at Doggy.exe and Deft on the same team, because Doge.exe has always been in a demo, and whenever I've seen him in ozfortress, he's been playing demo. So I feel like this might be his first season in Prem on Pocket, and Deft has always been the super aggressive demo that I've seen every single time I've kind of popped my head in ozfortress. I've seen Deft just going absolutely nuts. So it's quite interesting, like that sort of dynamic on servo mutts. It's kind of a little bit weird. It's like, you know, imagine like Elikor and Lucas are on the same team. It would be kind of like, huh?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, Doge has played a lot of classes. I think he played Medic last season or the season before that. Either way, a ton of aggression right now. They don't have the Uber yet, but they're just going in maybe as a kind of halfway sack wave. Fane's going to go down immediately, and some scouts are down very weak as well. But they don't get the Uber force out, and they're kind of halfway just pushing. It seems very weird. They're not really committing a whole lot. And now they're just kind of out, and they haven't gotten a proper sack wave in or anything. So that just seemed like a pretty big waste of time right here. They're wasting their own Uber right now. So I'm a little bit curious what they're actually trying to do right now. But there's soldier aggression coming in. Doesn't really get anything. Here comes the Uber exchange.
Yeah, and the Uber exchange is looking a little bit more advantageous for Coffee Clock, as they, again, trying to just separate the side of servo mutts, but they're not able to separate anything, not able to get any connects in the post Uber fight. They've taken a huge amount of damage, and the aggression out of servo mutts come back in. Def dealing a lot of damage, trying to get them all into Def Pit. Bombs coming in from Fane, trying to connect something, gonna get cleaned up by Cookie, but they managed to inch their way onto the point. Servo mutts, they've cleaned up 2, 3. That's really, really good. 4 players down. Big pound out of Doge.
Can Lau get out though?
No, that's a wipe.
Yeah, that was actually looking really good right there until Doge just came in, got onto the Pride Rock, just shot down at people and did a ton of damage. And after that, everything got destroyed. That was the pause out of the way. We see a single guy reconnecting. That's Kyle. That was the medic, actually. All right. That's a bit unfortunate. So now the Ubers are going to be completely even and no heals right now on the field. And that's going to just be like an open invitation for Coffee Clock to just come back in here.
And Coffee Clock inching onto the point, getting that 2 times going. They have traded some players, but they've lost their demos, so they haven't got that point present, and Deft is just reading that perfectly. Once again, Doggy with a nice jump over the top. Dono going down. That's a 3rd. And really, like, servo mutts repushes have been really, really nice, Beta. Like you mentioned, getting hold of Pride Rock from Doggy, just denying that, has been really, really good.
Yeah, they do a really good job of actually just denying the soldier jumps. We haven't seen any soldiers really trying to get behind for Coffee Clock at all. It seems like they're just kind of content to jump in, get space and do damage. But actually the Uber exchange is going to come out here. It's just going to be a single scout going in, trying to make some flashes happening. But let's see if they can actually win the fight following this.
And a lot of players get popped into the air, and we get a little bit of a trade, but the demo actually goes down. And a lot of servo mutts players start getting collapsed on. Dono sneaks in, gets Kyle. And that's really not good for servo mutts. They're just kind of spitting at Coffee Clock's combo there, but they've done a really good job of holding that. They've not capped the point yet. I think they're waiting for their respawners, and they're just going to deny. They're not able to actually deny any respawners. I don't fully know why they waited so long to cap there.
I think they're just getting in position to hold things up.
Oh, they were just denying spawners. They were just making sure they had a quicker cap, respawn time. That's all.
Yeah.
It made sense.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're about to see a sack wave come in here. The medic is in pretty deep, but I think he's just getting ready to go back to spawn. All right, and actually Lau, he's getting so low, and he actually gets forced. And Kyle, as long as he gets out, this is a really great sack wave, and he is out. And they even managed to get Deft out as well. So really great sack wave right there. Lau, he was trying to dodge everything, but nope, he was unable to evade capture and fire there. Well, now it's going to be the Pyro to break the portal.
Yeah, and the Pyro has just come in, but no one's on point. 2 seconds left. And probably, yeah, they're just not going to be able to deny it. And that's going to be the first round going to Coffee Clock. Some really good rotations out of them. Even though I feel like servo mutts have had some really good repushes onto the point so far, Beta.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. Coming into this mid, I kind of wonder if we're going to see any soldiers try to jump behind, because that's just something we have not seen so far. Like, they just go into them and, okay, actually, immediately Riot goes behind.
Yeah, Riot immediately goes behind, and then Yul actually joins him, and they do trade some plays, but they do lose Death on the side of servo mutts, so they haven't got their demo. And this is a good situation because Carl is completely separated as well, so Cookie cleans him up, and there's even though they lost Lau very, very early. I didn't see him actually get sneaked out there. The two scouts barreling across the point, knowing that there's actually not a lot of heals for Coffee Clock.
This is how scary scouts are, man.
Yeah,
it's
just terrifying. They're just getting away with it.
Yeah. They just never die. Soldier actually jumps in super aggressively right there. Fane, I think he's eventually going to get taken down. He's just dodging all the air shots. He's taking a ton of attention, and that means everyone else can just go forward. And now Soldier's going to jump in here, get a ton of space going on. Deft has gone down, and everyone's just in full retreat right now on their servo mutts.
Yeah, they're on their full back pedal, and they just... Coffee Clock is so good at just setting up very early forward holds. They try to set it up again. They weren't able to completely commit to it, but they've done some really good work with it. The repush coming out of servo mutts. They've managed to clean up with one player. That's a soldier down, and they're trying to walk across, but Redcoat's not letting it happen at all. Good little spam from him, denying them coming up through their death bit, and it's just spam after spam exchange. No one's really connected too much damage. It's just literally a slugfest right now, Beta.
Yeah, Lau's going very weakened, and Redcoat gets taken down as well. I think servo mutts were just waiting for their own movement. This is a great milk coming out here of Kyle. That is so good. They're just going to chase this down. And I think they're just getting ready, and Lau, he's trying to bait them a little bit, but they don't fall for it. Actually, a Riot comes in from behind, takes down the medic. Everyone else was just looking forward. Lau was just taking so much attention as well. And it just worked out perfectly. Excellent timing coming in from Riot, making a huge difference for his team, and they're even going to get all the spawners before they capture this point. This was just perfectly played by Coffee Clock.
Yeah, I feel like Coffee Clock did a really good job of using all of the attention on Lau, like you mentioned before, just to clean house and get Kyle, getting that advantage back in their way. And I feel like they're going to have a pretty easy time of trying to deal with this. It may be a sack wave coming out of servo mutts, as Fen did jump across, wasn't able to connect anything. You'll just get cleaned up, but Doge is in behind. He's going to be looking to maybe have a 1v1 right now on Cliff. He does manage to win it, and the frags are not on the side whilst all of that's happening. They just got completely cleaned, and Doge is going to try and make a play, gets piped in the air and gets cleaned up in the end by Cookie. So again, Coffee Clock very much in control right now of this map.
They're looking very, very strong right now, and there's almost no time off the clock for them, and there's only 1 minute remaining. So Servoman, they need to go in here, and they need to probably do a suicide wave first. Demoman's going to jump in very aggressively, Lao is so far back. Look at that. He's just way alone all the way.
He took no damage.
Yeah, pretty much. That's he just read them like a book, and I don't think they were actually able to ever find him because he was just not even hanging out with his own team, right? Like all the servo mutts players, they were just jumping. Yeah, they were just jumping their own team.
Oh, Dev gets crushed by Riot there, and right now this forward hold is an absolute meat grinder. But Fen manages to get in, but they're gonna get cleaned up. And the scout's kind of overextended. Coates is in an interesting position. The Uber has actually come out, and Lau hasn't even used, just backpedaling, milking perfectly. If they, this is really bad for servo mutts. They managed to get one frag, but they've just used their Uber now. Coffee clocks, cleaned up the players, and that's going to make it 2-0 unless the soldiers can't touch the point in time.
That was a very, very convincing round. It never even looked close. So right now, I think servo mutts, they really need to just look at themselves, maybe try to mix things up, maybe run some sniper, or just be more aggressive or less aggressive. Like, just definitely change something here coming into this mid-fight if they want to have a chance.
Yeah, they're really going to have to try and bring something out here as Doge is the first to go down. They've lost both their soldiers. And Kyle, no, the collapse for servo mutts. TJ, the only survivor left on his team. Coffee clocks just absolutely mulching these mids.
It's just not even close. Like, they're just winning all the DM fights. They have extremely good focus fire. Like, as soon as Soldier jumps in, he's just insta-dead. He gets off like one rocket, right?
You know that phenomenon called Caster's Curse, as we said it was going to be a closer game than yesterday. This seems to be very much the same sort of pace as what happened yesterday for us. Like, it does feel like Coffee Clocks are in a much better position, and a lot of it's down to how Lau's been playing. I'm really interested to see how his stats are.
Look at Lau.
Look at this Jukin! Oh, he only uses the last second, but he manages to stay alive for a hell of a long time. They sack 3 players in, but ultimately they get the force. But actually, looking for some forward hold play out of Coffee Clock right now, Peter.
Yeah, they lost the Uber advantage, so now they just want to slow down their opponents as much as possible. The Pyro is out immediately, and he actually gets a kill. He's very weak. There wasn't really anyone with him, though, so that was a bit of a weird push out. It seemed a little bit disorganized. Eventually, however, they are going to be able to make it out here, and they have the Uber advantage right now to go in, and they just want to get as close to the enemy medic as possible before they use this. But man, that pipe just pops him into the end. This Uber is doing nothing, getting jolted so hard. Wow. This is not looking too strong.
It is not looking too great for Coffee Clock, as we do see they've managed to get the point, but the repush just comes in. So much damage, Peter. And I feel like Kyle's way too disconnected from his team. They're putting so much pressure onto Lau.
Oh no!
They managed to get the force and are disconnected.
Yeah, Lau dropped his Uber target there before popping. So, yeah, those were 2 absolutely awful Ubers in a row. The servo mutts Uber did very little, got juggled super hard, and then Lau dropped his healing target before popping, so he just did nothing with his either. And now it's just anyone's game. There's a slight Uber advantage in the favor of servo mutts, but that probably doesn't even matter. And now it's just going to be a straight up fight, and this aggression right now for Coffee Clock is so good. They're doing so much work, and it just seems like servo mutts can do nothing to stem this tide of aggression.
And then they've done absolutely perfect, focus fire there, cleaning up the players that were jumping across, using their aggression to push themselves. They have lost a few players, so they're going to have to back out, but they're setting up traps. They're trying to deny. Doge is coming in with the bomb, trying to maybe come round onto Lau. He's managed to get onto him. Lau's staying alive for so long!
On 21
the Jukes are
HP.
real. The Jukes are absolutely real. Yeah, like, Doge just wasn't able to connect it. Riot's now got barreling down, but whilst they're looking at Riot, Dono just walks into Kyle, meat shots and cleans him up. Their Uber has been forced though, but really they're going to be able to get a very decent hold before anything happens, and there's going to be a huge amount of time before.
They missed the double.
I didn't see that.
That was unfortunate. I think it was Riot that hit the really nice crisp air shot, and then unfortunately he was unable to hit the double, but like that soldier was dead as soon as that first rocket connected. And now they're doing another forward hold. They've really relied on these forward holds a lot. And we see some teams never do this, but let's see if they can keep it up. This Pyro's in, the sword is in, the aggression is real. Lau tries to surf out, but he gets taken down. He is unable to make it out. And this has actually been a really great forward hold break coming out here from Servo Mutts. Wow.
Yeah, they absolutely crushed that. They've actually turned it into a wipe beater. That was really well played. I actually really liked that. They just started cleaning house with players. They didn't give them a sec to really, you know, stabilize their forward hold. The moment that they started busting through, they just gave them no opportunity. Now they're trying to give them a taste of their own medicine. Riot is the first to go down, but we're seeing huge amount of aggression. 2 jumps coming out from the Coffee Clock members, but they have lost Redcoats. They don't have that demo, but Yul coming in, getting the force onto Kyle. And Lau just needs to backpedal, make sure that he doesn't get cleaned up. Yul's actually the one who's going to be focused. He gets death.
How is he not dead? Alright, there we go.
He stayed alive for so long, and he got the demo. Perfect.
Yeah. Alright, they're going to actually wait to cap it out until they get some spawners. Yul barely doesn't get it. They mistimed that a little bit, so he gets 5 seconds extra on the resupply there. It's a soldier, so that's not that important, but it is a bit unfortunate there. And they're just going to jump in very aggressively. There's 4 seconds on the point, and they're just Ubering right now, Coffee Clock. They are on the cusp of taking the 3-0. There we go. This is just exactly like yesterday. The game, the pause, the 3-0. That is absolutely uncanny, I have to say. So hopefully the next map works out better.
Yeah, it was a decent amount of carnage really coming out of Coffee Clock. Well, when I say carnage, I mean controlled carnage, I think is the best way to put it. As in they were just splitting apart the Servo Mutt side and cleaning individual players up so quickly that they weren't able to respond really. I imagine
very quick.
Have we got the logs on stream?
I don't think they're quite up on stream, but you know, we can definitely begin talking about them, just to warm people up to them, right? And I can
big numbers,
reveal.
Big numbers.
Yeah, look at Cookie. He went 24 for 6, so he's basically the Thalash, right?
Yeah.
Of this team. Like
not as good though, because Thalash had 2 deaths, but
and 28 kills.
saying that Cookie did a better job of protecting his med than Thalash did, because Lau died less than Cookie did. So, you know, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, Lau was really on top of popping. He popped on like 14 HP 4 times, it feels like. You know, like he was always right about dead before he popped. Right, like, he basically had like the AI's cheat code thing where if they go under 10 HP, they just insta pop, right? That kind of what it felt like with with Lau. He just had some sort of script, right? Where whenever he goes below like a super low threshold, he just popped. That's what it seemed like, and it was just perfect every time. And his Ubers were really good, and they always tended to win their Uber exchanges, just using scouts really to just split the enemy Uber, and then getting some really good mobility out of it, and then just winning the fight. There wasn't a whole lot of soldiers going behind. It did happen, obviously, but it never seemed to be like the big thing that just split up the team. It was much more of just like a straight up DM fight, and it seemed like Coffee Clock just won out on those big time.
Yeah, I feel like Doge and Fane were trying their best to get behind and do bits and bobs, but they were just getting cleaned up, and you can see that they Fane went 6-19 and Doge went 7-16. So they were just getting cleaned, and I bet if we looked at the stats, yeah, Cookie, 13 of his kills were just on soldiers. So yeah, it's kind of a big indication.
Yeah, Product is pretty notorious for being bad for soldiers, and like you can even see Yul, it was a 3-0 roll. He still went 8 for 13, right? So Riot did better. He had 14 for 11, but it's a rough map for soldiers. When you're losing Viaduct, it is miserable as soldier. Like those scouts will just shut you down, and there's no doubt about it that the Cookie and Down, they were just doing that over and over. And just also when your medic dies 6 times less than the enemies, like, you're probably gonna win. It's just that simple. There was even a single drop on Ivan, who I believe Kyle.exe is Ivan, because Ivan always fake nicks, literally every time. So I just assume that's him, but who knows if it's a merc or not.
Let's see. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Ivan. I did some detective work by right clicking his name on the logs, and I found out he is definitely Ivan.
Yeah.
I nearly went to ETF2L though, and I couldn't find him, and then I remembered.
All right, what do you think is going to happen here on this map? You got to be quick because we're already live. These guys are not wasting their time. They just want to go, man. So what are your predictions here?
Based on the previous one, I'm just going to say the exact 5-1 scoreline.
5-1.
5-1 scoreline.
Right, I think it's going to be close. I think soldiers will actually be able to do a whole bunch here for several months, but we'll see if we're right. Take it away on this, man.
And teams have actually changed colours, which is always really helpful. So we have Coffee Clock on red and Servo Mutts on blue. And Death is the first one to go down as they've exchanged players, but they've lost both their soldiers as well. 4 players down for Servo Mutts, and Coffee Clock just chasing them so aggressive. Look at these soldiers just hop, skipping and jumping after the combo. Not able to go onto it though, knowing that TJ was there and probably would have cleaned them up. So good decision from them, but a big mid fight coming out of Coffee Clock right now.
Yeah, absolutely crushed it. And you know, if Medic hadn't gotten that buff where he could run as fast as a scout, like he would never have made it out of that mid, that's for sure, because the chase was really good. But yeah, he just had his cat in the form of a scout. So now it's going to be even Ubers right now. We'll see how they decide to do this. You know, some teams will just push in just to get Ubers out of the way. And
look at that soldier bomb!
Look at where Ivan is, though.
Sick. Yeah, but
Ivan is in spawn.
Yeah, Ivan just did not want to be a part of that. But they managed to clean up the sentry gun as well. I just love that skip jump out of Riot. Riot or Yule, actually, I didn't see which one it was. Just did a beautiful little skip jump. And I was just like, you know, the jumper main in me was like, whoo.
Yeah, I do think I recall Riot being a really good jumper. Like, he always seems to just get around the map extremely efficiently. And if there's a small opening, he's probably going to find it. So you need to be very careful of that. And just the timing was excellent. Taking down the sentry gun and then immediately, like within the second, having a soldier in on looking for the medic. Like, that's just really good timing and coordination coming out for Coffee Clock. So even though it didn't work, it was a really great play. And they lost 2 soldiers, and they didn't get counter pushed. So that's also a pretty good tell, right? That you know, you can do pretty much whatever you want, and you're not going to get counter pushed on right here. Doge goes down very weak, but not quite dying, which is lucky for him. But let's see what they do here. It looks like it's going to be another soldier going in. They're kind of taking the entire side here coming out for them, and they are actually just going to end up doing a soldier trade. Maybe we'll see a banner come out for one of them, maybe not. We actually do have a sniper right now on the defensive side. And he's going to try to lock down one sideline at least. But yeah, it's just a good old stalemate, and the Riot will go sniper as well.
The good old sniper v sniper situation on last. It's all going to be about who rotates better and who can get the best angle on the opposing sniper. And Doge decides to go doubles. Are you? Is what? What? Is that allowed?
What's
allowed? There was two snipers at one point. Like, Doge went out as sniper as well. I got well confused. There was 2 snipers. That confused the hell out of me. But Doge got that headshot onto Riot, but he's going to get cleaned up by Redcoat. So that completely threw me off.
Yeah, I don't think that's allowed because I think ETF2 and ozfortress use the same rule set, but I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure in ESEA it's allowed to have 2 snipers, and it used to be. So, maybe not. Maybe ozfortress has like one tiny little rule that's different. Like the double sniper is not really a big deal, to be fair. Right? Like you almost never see it, and it's not like it's super effective. But you know, I do recall seeing like maybe a season or 2 ago, like in Australia, maybe that was like the really old, like season 21 games that I watched, where I would see double sniper one to watch each side of like Granary and Sunshine and stuff. So maybe it's just allowed, but who knows? We could speculate, but no real point to. It's just a slight lower hitch in it, and I think we just have a spy and spawn checking things. And they're just trying to gain space. They've gone off of Sniper Riot. He's on Soldier again, so I think he's just looking for an opening to go in here. The sentry gun is pretty poor positioning to like deny bombers, and he's actually going to get spammed out as well. So really good headway right now being made from Coffee Clock.
Yeah, and they're just inching their way into last piece by piece. They're just baiting all on their DM. They haven't used their Uber. The Ubers haven't even been exchanged, and they've baited so much time to the point. The Uber exchange has started, and we've got Redcoats, you know, getting pressured by Doge. But all in all, it's looking a lot stronger for Coffee Clock. They're going to bring their scouts back in. They're cleaning up players. So much damage on the point from Redcoat. That's a absolute mulch. And that's the first round going to Coffee Clock.
That was just all Lao. Like an actual medic carry on this post. His Uber was so good. His flashes were perfect. He like saved Riot or Yule, one of those soldiers on like super low HP in a corner, darted back. He didn't Uber the scouts on the point to, so it was just really great. Actually super aggressive jump in from Riot, just in choke, trying to catch out the Devil Man. He's gonna lose his life, so now his team is in a bad position, lose Redcoat as well. I think it's just time to run, my friends. Get out there, Coffee Clock. Good done for.
Yeah, Doge coming in with a bomb. Yule's gonna get cleaned up. Vanna and TJ actually putting in a lot of work on the scouts. Dono gonna get cleaned up as well. And they're gonna be looking to just go straight in. That's aggression. Doge is already in. So's Fane. They're not able to get Lao though. He just slips away into spawn. How do you read that well?
Yeah, he's just been absolutely amazing. Like, I think I recall Lao playing Scout, most of all. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him on Medics, but so far he's been really impressing me. Just a great Medic play, just absolutely carrying his weight for sure. They managed to get down that Scout as well, so really good job there. This is looking extremely good for Coffee Clock, and this aggression's coming in. The Devilman's jumping in very aggressively. It's actually just an Uber and choke, and Lao is kind of cut off from the rest of his team. So not the best Uber right now, but Coffee Clock, they seem like they've actually managed to get out and even take down Doge, who overextended a bit. So somehow, even though that was a suboptimal Uber, they still managed to somehow win out there. Get the fight, and oh no, this medic, what a surf from Ivan there. That was really great. Oh my god, I thought he was dead.
Yeah, like Ivan manages to get out really nicely, but they lost to Fane as well with just a bit too much of an overextension, and Coffee Clock just huge aggression. Look at these bombs coming in. They do lose Riot to Vanna, but honestly, oh, they've lost Redcoat as well. This is good for Servo Mutts, and Doge wants to kind of chase it. It's going to get denied. Going to go into Flowers with Fane, maybe looking to bomb in. Nah, Fane's just going on his own and nearly goes down, but luckily for him, TJ was with him to support him. They get Cookie down as well. They're chasing pretty hard onto Lao. Oh, Doge gets Lao finally. After how many attempts? Manages to get that connection.
Well, let's not think about that. Let's just take comfort in the fact that Lao is capable of dying and somehow not always escaping, even though sometimes it seems like he's just invincible. He's not. But that was just a DM fight.
Redcoat with the trap picks up Def and TJ. They don't even see it. That was like if Ivan took like half a step further forward, he would have gone down as well. That was a really, really good trap from Redcoat there.
Yeah, the Uber advantage now is going to be a lot more difficult to actually use. I think they want to, and yeah, they are just going to go out here. They do catch out Redcoat, but Lao, he has just read it again. Nice shot there from Riot to just deny things. And this is the danger of Ubering out with it when you don't have a whole lot of players. It's just very difficult to kill people. They do get the Demo Man, but that's about it. They don't get a whole lot of ground. Oh my god, the Scout even going to get taken down. Soda's in very aggressively onto Ivan. It looks like he will make it out alive, but it's going to be like basically off of the back of Fane, making a play in the background. And man, yeah, that trap just did so much, and deciding to actually use it as a back cap though. Look at this. I think they're going to fight it.
Yeah, they decided not to turn around to it. Redcoat's super low as he comes in.
Again, doesn't die.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, Soda jumped in on him. Like Lao, like if I was him, I'd just be pissing my pants because like there's a Soda right next to you, have like 60 HP. Like that's droppable. That's a probable situation for sure. It's another nice trap from Def, but this time around they managed to check it just fine. not gonna fall for a trap here. And it's still even Ubers, and we see Doge on Sniper right now. So it's gonna be pretty difficult to send in Suiciders here, but there is no sentry gun up quite yet. It's not the. It's like a level 1 in the corner, so that's not gonna deny anyone from jumping in.
Yeah, it's not going to be able to really stop anything from Coffee Clock, as they've managed to clean up so many players already, and they haven't even gone in. Uber is up for Coffee Clock, and Ivan's Uber
Lau
came
again.
out. I don't see, like, Lau just stays alive for so long, just milks it perfectly. This Uber has come in really nice, some good flashes, denying all that damage, but big bomb coming out of Doge, clearing off the point. Lau's going to go down as well, and actually that was a good little save from Doge, good damage from him, and then Deft cleaning that up as well. Going to mean
Ryan's going to see if he can be a hero. He's going to jump last point, but there's 2 soldiers in there, so he's not going to get it. Oh, the scout!
Cookie's going to get it.
Sneaks onto the point as well. Cookie just gets in there, saves the situation. The Uber coming in initially failed because people were just a little bit too low, and then everyone stacked onto the point. And then, yeah, Doge did his super bomb there and just destroyed everyone. But it did mean that there was enough time on the point that the 2 people who had managed to sneak behind actually just managed to cap it out there. So it works out eventually. Riot's going to decide not to die immediately on this mid, but yeah, he's actually taking a lot of damage. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, Fane's looking to do some little cheeky bombs. He doesn't really connect anything, tries to go around. Lau takes a huge amount of damage, going to get cleaned up by Death. But they've lost so many players as a result as well. It's a med for your entire team. They've got to make sure that Ivan gets out, because even though they made those sacks for him, they lost the players as a result. And they're going to be holding last with 100% Uber. I mean, it could be worse.
It definitely could be. You know, like you lose 2 points, you lose a lot of man advantage, but now you're going to have heals. You're going to have an Uber advantage, so you're definitely going to be able to come out here and recapture second if everything goes according to plan. And it looks like they might actually be fighting it here. Coffee Clock being pretty confident, but it looks like they're actually going to end up losing 0 players. So that's a pretty good contest right here, but they will lose second point as they should. And they could potentially also lose middle as well. They're going to try their best to just spam things out here as everyone just comes into choke.
And they've gone in, used that Uber. They've cleaned up 1 player. Death's going to be chasing really hard. Huge amounts of damage going on to Coffee Clock, but they're so good at kiting this Uber, cleaning up the players as soon as they come out. Ivan's nearly going down actually to a scout, and the repush is coming in from Coffee Clock. Oh my god, this is just an absolute mulch. Fane with a nice rocket onto Cookie.
Yeah, Fane, you know, that was a lost fight, but Fane gets a nice kill there at least to go for the frag movie. But that's the only positive thing to say about that. For some reason, like, Ivan took a bunch of damage and choked to a scout, and then he would just there was no way he was ever getting out. And then a really nice jump in there from Red Coat. Just kills him immediately. Lau's going to maintain his massive Uber advantage, and we've seen how good his Ubers have been so far. So if he can just make sure that everyone's fully buffed, like, it looks like Cookie's the only person that doesn't have a fat buff. Okay, even he has a buff now. So far, so good. Like, they're just making their way in, and I think they're just going to try and push into the right side.
And they have pushed in. They're trying to deal with the sentry gun. They managed to clean it up. And Redcoat's already starting the cap, but not actually put any sticks onto point. He's going to get cleaned up by a nice rocket from Fane. And you know what? Servo Mutts did an amazing job dealing with that. They did a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. You could see, I think Coffee Clock were trying to play the point, which is very often a very smart play. But it just kind of meant that they were all packed together really well, and they weren't getting enough kills. And then so much they were really good at just like doing the star split, going back out, and then they all just collapsed onto the point. And some really nice rockets out of Fane as well. Just like I think he both hit the airshot on the scout, and that also damaged a bunch of other players as well. So they just all collapsed and exploded. So now going to be an Uber advantage right now for Servo Mutts coming out here on mid to see if they can get in here without using. That is what you want to do, but it can be very difficult. And no, Riot gets a pick onto a scout, so that's going to complicate things. But I think they managed to capture in a demo man. Yeah, he actually does manage to trade with some nice pipes, but yeah, overall, wow, this is going really badly. They still have their medic, but they lost 3 players. They
bleed so many players there. They shouldn't have lost that, but Death actually Riot. What are you doing? He goes for the hero shot, gets bombed.
Oh, but
doesn't matter,
Ivan
Cookie
drops.
just walks in.
They were also focused on the sniper that it just missed the scout. Just walked in, stood next to the medic, and then just shot him in the sides. Just broke his ribs, dropped the Uber, and that's absolutely a disaster. So now once again, they're gonna wait for some respawners here, but Lau has the big Uber advantage. So again, you want to go into mid without using this Uber, but that can be very difficult to actually pull off properly.
100%, and it feels like Coffee Clocks are going to use this opportunity to go back in, do a lot of damage, clean up some players. Fane actually kills himself on his own damage. Doge goes down as well to a bit of full damage, and really they've lost too many players, not enough spam classes to deny the push in, and they're going to have to back out onto their second beta.
They are indeed. Once again, they want to make them use this Uber onto second to make them kind of pay an Uber for a point, but they're unable to do so. They just don't quite have the players for it. They are on 80%. This is usually the gray area where you say you probably don't have enough Uber to actually push on, and losing Riot here is definitely gonna make them just say, okay, no, we don't have the Uber advantage anymore. It's just not quite fast enough there. Don't have the man advantage to push. So just they managed to get 2 points for free without using the Uber, which is really good, but they were unable to take it all the way in there, which they're probably not too sad about. They're up 2-0, so they can take it slow. If they just take 10 minutes off the clock, they're happy. So they're just going to take it easy, put Riot on sniper, slow it down, and just see if they can get that key pick. And Riot so far, he's been pretty good sniper, I'd say.
Yeah, Riot's done some good work, but you know, Vanna's done some good little counter snipes as well. It's been a nice little exchange as well. Doge confusing me and both going sniper at one point, but you know, we've had a little bit of sniper here and there. Riot's definitely been popping up a lot more though. I definitely agree with you on that one, and he's going to be looking for that angle right now, as Vanna is going to be the try to counter him, but actually Riot's just going to get spammed quite heavily. He's so low, he is going to get cleaned up by the soldier spam, and Vanna is just immediately going to come off sniper and go back onto scout because, you know, he's not needed anymore. He doesn't need to deal with that. They're going to be looking to try and get out as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a bit more support there for him. It was just basically a single sniper against two soldiers. But look at that, both a scout and a soldier go down, and then immediately it's going to actually push in here on the left side. I think they're going to just go for the Uber exchange. So let's see what happens once this Uber ends.
Yeah, Lau actually bringing in Red Coat at the last second. Damage coming in, but Riot actually bombs in really, really nicely to clean up for his teammate. Demo down. Ivan down, lots of bombs going on to point, and that was good work. Good repush again from Coffee Clock. They're so good. You know, Lau just kind of commands this single trade Uber, and as soon as that Uber's in, they just start fluttering their players in at the last second, and there's nothing that poor old servo mutts can do.
Yeah, indeed. Looks like we're going to see Fane turn to take the clock tower immediately. Yule's going to do the same. They all just like go up there and then go back out. So they're just going to take it a little bit slow. They don't want to overcommit. We've seen a lot of soldiers not really having success. Now they're going to bomb onto the demo man. Redcoat will survive, however. Clock tower continues to see a bunch of trades going on, but it is going in the favor of Coffee Clock right now. And Def going down, that's definitely going to be the call to retreat right now for Servo Mod. And they are way out there. It looks like they're going to try and send the scout in behind, but he has been spotted as well. So I don't think he's going to be long for this world. Yeah, that was not going to work, was it? A bit of I think that's Vanna that went for that hero play, and yeah, sometimes you're not a hero, you're just kind of a fool for overextending.
Yeah, and it's just
whoa,
more and more crumbles.
Fane
Fane actually gets the force. I didn't even see that. Ooh.
Yeah, both teams use their Uber. It's better right now on the favor of Coffee Clock, but neither team were really close to each other at all. So those were two abysmal Ubers. So they're just basically going to reset here. It's like Ubers, they're not going to be part of this. They both say, let's start over, see what we can do right now. And we do once again have a single sniper on the defensive end. And now it's going to be just like cookie cutter setup, trying to see if they can get their way in. So far, like pushing in on the opponent's right side has been really good. You just make a bunch of space, spam out the soldiers, and then you can make space for your sniper or your own players to bomb in. And looks like they're actually just sensing that. Look at servo mutt. They have just rotated their medic to the right side. We usually see the medic stand on the left side, but there's just been so much pressure on that right side that they're just rotating the heals and sniper and everything over there to make sure that that's completely locked off. And Yul's gonna find out what's going on right there. And Dose goes for the counter sack, but there was stickies on the door, so he just went immediately for the play. That's a good decision, I think. And it didn't work out, but now it's going to be a second soldier jumping in as well. Riot not going to be able to find anything as well, so just counter sacks galore, and no one's finding anything so far.
Yeah, it's just trades for trades, but right now they're actually going to be trading Uber, and Cookie just goes in super deep, cleans up Vanna because he's just disconnected from that combo, and TJ tries to go on to Redcoat. Redcoat is actually going to trade, but I feel like with their scouts they can just barrel forward. The Australian scouts are absolutely terrifying, and with Cookie and Dono doing a great job of pushing in, they're going to make that 4-0 beater. Just stellar scout performances. That's really, really good.
Yeah, the Ubers right now for Coffee Clock are just so good, and it's like part the scouts just hitting everything and making perfect decisions, and part Lau just delegating and using the Uber perfectly as well. Looks like Riot's actually going to go down super weak at the beginning of this mid fight, so the initial advantage definitely goes in favor of servo mutts here.
And they have lost quite a few players, Coffee Clock, in response to that, but with soldiers down for both teams as well as demos, it's just that the scout fight, they did lose Varna, and now Cookie, Dono and Lau all in tow, charioting the chase. They're not stopping, they're going to be chasing them all the way on to last. TJ trying to stay alive. Oh, Ivan with the stab onto, oh my god, TJ, come on,
this has gone horribly wrong.
Oh, Lau has to force. They get absolutely punished. Ivan with the clutch saw.
Yeah, turned that around. That mid was actually going really poorly. That Riot in the skybox tries to save himself with a nice rocket off the wall. That's not even going to be enough. And somehow that was a 1 mid for Coffee Clock, and then they just overextended, and Ivan going for the huge scout kill gets himself an Uber as well. Does a ton of damage, and then all of a sudden the 2v1 or the 2v2 scout fight becomes a 2v1, and then it was just all over from there. So great job by Ivan. So far the medics have just played such a huge role, and this fight is going on right now. The Uber has been used on both teams, but like right now, oh, they get Lau! Lau didn't escape. That's huge. So they went in super deep with that Uber. They get Lau, and now they can just set up, and they can actually just re-push right now. Yul is behind line, so he's not even going to be there for last. I think if they just go, they can just push against no heals, but they're actually just trying to get this soldier as well, and Yul actually trades, so they lost the opportunity to push off of that. I think that's actually a mistake on their part.
To be honest, I just love this scout aggression right now in this game, just where they just send their scouts in with their med and they just try and laser everybody down. It's nuts that it works so well. It's been really funny to see how these like exchanges with the scouts have gone down, and both teams have done some pretty good plays off it. They're going to be using their Uber on the right hand side beater, clean up that sentry gun very early. TJ putting time onto the point. We've got Fane bombing in, getting cleaned up by Cookie, and oh my god, Coffee Clock just cleaning house on that last hold. And now they're on the chase. Riot's going to clean up Deft, and they're going to be going out of. Yeah, they're just not able to stabilize at all, Beta.
Yeah, Coffee Clock, they did such a good job of just going really hard on the flank that wasn't Ubered. Usually in Sunshine you go into one side with it, and actually the double soda bomb's going to come in here, get Lau, so that's good. And they've lost a lot of players for it. I think, yeah, Ivan's under a lot of pressure as well. But that was a really good bomb in there onto the medic. Didn't see the second soldier coming, gets him taken down. They're going to lose a mid for it, but yeah, this is definitely looking like a very winnable position right now. They are trying to, beginning to feel the squeeze of time, but they still have enough time to make it here for sure, and they have the Uber advantage to work with as well. So they just need to not lose second point and then actually use this Uber advantage to get out here in time. But they are going to lose second point. That's really annoying. That's just going to take so much time for them. because they need to recap it now. And that's annoying, but they need to get out here and use this Uber advantage. Otherwise, they're just going to lose the game.
Yeah, they're going to be in a situation where they need to get that force out of Ivan. And Doge is going to be creating space for his team, and Yule's just going to stay very far forward, get the Uber out. They're not going to be able to get mid for free. Deft actually gets cleaned up by Riot, and you know what? Coffee Clock, they want to come back in. Ivan goes super low. It's actually going to get cleaned up by Riot, and the cleanup crew is here on the side of Coffee Clock. TJ's going to get cleaned up behind, and they did such a good job on that post-Uber re-push. They're going to clean up Doge for a wipe beater. Coffee Clock just so in control.
Yeah, the way they just kite these Ubers has just been absolutely insane. Like, it's just so many times where they just kite the Uber perfectly and they just re-push in and just destroy them. They're just going to Uber in right now with this, and they get the demo man down. That means they can put pressure onto the point pretty safely. They're going to just make sure everyone just jumps onto it, try to just focus down everyone as they stand on the point. So far, they're doing a great job.
Oh, Riot with the big rocket's going to clap that out. Oh. And that's 5-0 beater.
Brutal game. So this is exactly like
exactly like last night.
Yeah,
exactly
even
like
worse
last night. Yeah, no, at least one round was taken up by top 5 rocket, but Coffee Clock really well played. I'm impressed.
Cookie top damaging, dude. Like, Cookie was so good. It was
you know what?
very noticeable.
I think Xander was right.
In what way?
Xander said that that nearly came out wrong. That Cookie, is currently one of the best scouts in ozfortress Prem, and I feel like he kind of proved that today. Some really good decision making, some really good control of the situation, and it just meant that his team just had such an easy time of dealing with all the repushes, all the bombs coming out of Doge and Fane, and yeah, it was just an amazing game. Really, really good. Like, even though it was one-sided, there were some really good moments. Doesn't feel like absolutely. A classic 5-0.
No, it wasn't a complete roll. It was a 25-minute game. It just seemed like whenever Servo Mutt was about to turn things around, they just got completely outplayed in some sort of Uber exchange, or they didn't manage to use their Uber well enough. Like, it just seemed to come down to Ubers and the way that they were used on both teams. Like, interestingly enough, Lau actually died one time more than Ivan did, so it's not like one medic was just being picked off all the time. Both medics stayed alive a lot, but like, I think we can both agree that the Uber exchanges for Coffee Clock were just better in the grand scheme of things, and it's it's a rough thing to deal with when your combo and just the way the Uber exchanges play out just goes against you like that. It's very difficult to make any headway, and yeah, this shows. And it was not even just that like the combo was outplaying the other combo. It was just also like the flank was just really good at collapsing on the on-Ubered players at times. So it's just seemed like it was better coordination right here for Coffee Clock, and they definitely earned it today. Maybe they were just having a much better night than Servo Mutt, but yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting it to be this one-sided going into it.
Yeah, it was like every single play that Servo Mutts had in the bag, just they weren't able to connect it. They weren't able to bring it into a decent position for themselves, and it's a shame because there were some really, really good moments by both teams, but they were never able to finish off their last push and cap it all out. And Coffee Clock just dealt with their last pushes so cleanly and just brought it coast to coast like every time.
Yeah, like there were definitely a bunch of really good moments for Servo Mutts, but they were just never quite able to sustain it for an entire round. It always fluttered out at some point, and Coffee Clock managed to bring it back. Probably a very frustrating game for Servo Mutt. It's going in here, and I think I will just mention finally that if you look at the Premier table, there's also like something called total score, which I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think it has something to do with like amount of rounds won or something like that. And Coffee Clock currently has 10 points, but Last week they had 10,000 and something points because of reasons I don't know. So they might have won tonight, but they also did lose 9 over like 10,000 points in total score. So who's the real winner, I ask
you? What?
Yeah, there was some sort of bug. There was some sort of bug last week. It was great. They had like 10,047 points in total score. But yeah, GrumpyKoi, it should be mentioned. They didn't play their week 2 match, I don't think so. They currently they currently only have 4-1 maps, which will still bring them to number 1, I think, overall. And Summer Coffee they only have 4 points. Maybe they didn't play. Oh yeah, I think they got like a default win in week 1 or something. So maybe that was the first game of the season. Either way, they look pretty good then, if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't quite understand what's. Yeah, there's just it looks like a spider's web underneath. I'm trying to make heads or tails of it.
It's just the weak matchups, I think. But I think now the question that we should probably be asking ourselves is Barrel of Apes going to be able to put up a fight? Because that's a really stacked roster, because that's Gio on Elmo on Scout. We have Paulson on Pocket, Hertz on Roamer, Enrith on Demo, and Locke on Medic. So that's like a stacked roster as well, right?
Is that another JT revival, basically?
Kind of sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the big name players that I recognize, for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Locke still playing med, sick. Enrith on Demo. That's a good team. That's a good team. Pocket pulls, Hurts. Yeah, that's not a bad team as well. That's going to be definitely a contender against this Coffee Clocks roster.
Yeah, not going to happen until week 7, unfortunately. So you're going to have to be waiting patiently for us to get that. But we've got.
Apparently it's the other way around. Paulson is med and Locke is Pocket. I don't know.
Paulson
I don't keep up.
Is Paulson in Netherlands now or something? Like, I know he was supposed to be there at some point, but I don't know if he's like studying or if it's like a whole year thing, or if he hasn't gone there yet, or if he's not necessarily going. I'm not sure. I assume he's in Australia, but I don't know. But yeah, if he has high ping, it would make sense to play medic. I don't know. There could be some weird drops. The Europe to Australia ping is pretty brutal. It's like 250 ping. It's it's pretty dangerous. Like, at that point, you just play sniper and snipe people through walls, right? Like, I think.
Do you want to make a ozfortress Prem team, Beer? Do you want to just do it now? Just want to announce it?
I don't think we'd be put into Prem, if I'm honest with you. I don't think we're considered good enough. I know, like, remember back when I can't remember if it was like Mix Up, or there was like some American team that actually played in Australia Prem, which was pretty fun. That was like YZ50 and Dummy and those kind of people, and they did pretty well, even if they had like 150 plus ping. So, but yeah, I don't think we'd be put in Prem. I think we would be put in like intermediate or open, and we'd still get crushed. So maybe we should come up with some other way of spending our time, to be honest.
Like casting, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, have we got what's the plan now, Beer? Have we got anybody to talk to? What's going on? Or all right. Shall we wrap it up? Do you want to wrap it up, my friend?
Yeah. We have no interviews coming or anything, and that was definitely a game that kind of spoke for itself. Just absolute domination coming out for Coffee Clock. So I'm definitely looking forward to see if any of the other teams are able to play themselves up to be able to kind of match the level of them. But that's going to be for the rest of the season to be determined. So definitely make sure you check that out. And before we go, let's do we have any final shout out, Grumpy, before we go into the Australian night and into the European day?
Shout out to everyone watching. Shout out to both the teams. Shout out to TF Live for having me and letting me say the words on top. And shout out to Josh because I saw you in chat. And apart from that, no, I got no more shout outs. Obviously, shout out to you, Beta, but we're going to be casting a lot. We've just had this, and then we've got Nations Cup tonight.
Yeah,
We?
so we've got the glorious Vikings playing against the heathen wildlings of Scotland later on today. So definitely go check out and see your heroes defeat the Scottish Picts for sure.
Denmark winner.
Denmark winner every time. So maybe get some sleep and then wake up and watch that. And if you're European, go outside because the weather is great, and then go back inside once you've got a nice sunburn and watch some TF2. But that's going to be all from us here. It's going to be me, GrumpyKoi, and Core on production. We've had a blast. I hope you guys had as well. You guys should all have a good night. We will see you later. Bye-bye.